How's it going, YouTube? We are back this time with an update of the boxing pound for pound rankings, my personal ones. Ring TV, as you can see, I have up here. That's the one that I base mine off of. I feel like top ranks, top pound for pound seems to be a little bit too biased towards top ranked fighters, so I like to use Ring TV. Before I get started, I have to ask you guys to leave a like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Number 10. The reason why, before I get started with this, the reason why I'm doing this is because the fight with Anthony Joshua and Oleksandr Usyk was such a big fight, big name fight. Usyk being number 4 on Ring TV already as is. So had Joshua beaten Usyk, then obviously he would have had a spot on the top 10 for himself. But he did not win. Usyk wins a big fight. He's a 3-belt champion in the heavyweight division now. Undisputed at cruiserweight, looking to be undisputed at heavyweight, which would make him arguably one of the better fighters ever, really, to be honest. Number 10, Kazuto Ioka. I don't know too much about him. Japanese fighters are normally in the lower weight divisions, and a lot of people don't watch the lower weight divisions because they aren't as hard-hitting, but I actually really do enjoy those smaller divisions. The speed, the hand speed, the head movement, it all really does entertain me. So I hope to one day get to see Kazuto Ioka in action, but I have not had the pleasure of doing so yet. Number 9, someone that I've seen a whole lot of is Juan Francisco Estrada. Long name. He's a beast. He likes to fight forehead to forehead. He's had some wars in his career. Avenged every loss that he's had. I believe he has 3 of them. And he's beat every single one of those guys the second time that they fought. So he definitely is a beast. Future Hall of Famer in the sport. Another lightweight guy. I believe 116 or 112 or something like that. Small guy. Entertaining nonetheless. He fights pedal to the metal all fight. You can't really hate on guys like that. Number 8, Vasily Lomachenko. I think that if Teofimo Lopez gives him the rematch, I think that Lomachenko does win that fight and find himself ahead of Teofimo. But it looks like we're not going to get that. Teofimo doesn't want to fight him again for whatever reason. He's saying he's on to bigger and better things. Which would mean Josh Taylor, but George Kambosos isn't exactly a big name. I know it's a defense, but we've been dragging this thing on forever now. It was supposed to happen in June, and then it was supposed to happen in August, and now it's, October. It's supposed to happen in October. September, and it hasn't happened yet, so I won't get my hopes up on that fight until they're in the ring throwing punches at each other. But I think that Vasily Lomachenko does win the second fight with Teofimo Lopez, and I think that's why Teofimo Lopez doesn't want to fight him, because he knows that Lomachenko's on a mission right now, and when he's fighting the way that he had against Masayoshi Nakatani, I don't think anybody beats him when he fights like that. Number 7, we are going to go with Teofimo. 3-belt champion at 135, hopes to fight Josh Taylor. If that's the case, if he does avoid a fight with Vasily Lomachenko to fight Josh Taylor, then I have no problems with that. As long as the champions are fighting champions, the best are fighting the best, I don't see any problem with avoiding one fighter to go fight a champion. I don't have a problem with that. There's always time to get back to him later. So if Teofimo Lopez does avoid Vasily Lomachenko's rematch and goes and tries to fight Josh Taylor at 140 pounds for undisputed over there, then I have no problems with that, and that's a history-making fight. But what I do not consider Teofimo Lopez is an undisputed champion at 135. He does have the WBC franchise belt, which is not a main sanctioning body belt. Devin Haney holds the WBC normal belt, I guess is what you call it, the WBC main belt. So Teofimo Lopez thinks he's going to become undisputed in 2 divisions, which is just simply not the case. Oleksandr Usyk is much closer to that feat than anybody else in boxing right now. Number 6. Yeah, I guess we're going to leave Earl Spence. I mean, the top 5, the top 6, it's these guys from pretty much here, from me here down are just so good. Even Estrada, you're pound for pound in the world, you're a top 10 fighter in every cross divisions. It's hard to do, but for me, these two are clear. But you start to get from on this list here down, it's just so rough. So I'm going to take Earl Spence. I think if he beats Pacquiao, he probably climbs into the top 5, moves Taylor out, possibly. But, that eye injury doesn't help, and that's a rough one to come back from. If he does box again, I expect him to be pretty good. I hope he fights Crawford. That's the dream fight for me. Those two guys are beasts. Barring that, Crawford does beat Sean Porter, which is not an easy fight in itself, so we'll see how all that goes. Earl Spence, get well soon, dude. Get well soon. Number 5, undisputed champion, 140 pounds, Josh Taylor. Fought a beautiful fight to beat Jose Ramirez to get his 2 belts. Now is undisputed, holds all the belts at 140. Legendary champion right there. Not too many guys get to do that in their lifetime, so he's a beast for sure. Definitely top 5. I hope he does get a big money fight, whether it's Teofimo Lopez, whether it's Terrence Crawford. One of those two needs to happen at 140 or 147 being for Crawford, but these are, he's not scared to fight anyone, it looks like. He went in with a heavy puncher with a high work rate and Jose Ramirez and just absolutely picked them apart. The scorecards are way too close in my opinion. I think it was, at the very least, it was 116, 111 with the knockdowns. But I think that that fight was way too close. Some home cooking on the scorecards for Top Rank for Jose Ramirez. But he wins the fight anyways. Well-deserved, well-earned victory. Number 4, and a lot of people are not going to like this, Terrence Crawford. The inactivity for me, 1, and 2, the resume, it's just not great. He has some decent fighters, some well-respected fighters, but no, tough guys, He hasn't really fought a 50-50 fight yet. I would like to see that. I think that he's a great fighter, and I think he can beat pretty much anybody in the division right now, currently, with the exception being probably Earl Spence. That's a 50-50 fight right now. Virgil Ortiz in maybe 2 years will be a 50-50 fight, or maybe even a year and a half. We'll see. Virgil Ortiz is growing so rapidly, that's going to be a tough fight for anybody at this point, but I think that he still has some immaturities in his game that Terrence Crawford will definitely capitalize on. But for me, right now, Crawford is number 4. Just the inactivity, lack of a resume. He is a great champion, an incredibly skilled fighter, but I need him to be more active than what he has been recently. Number 3, the newest heavyweight champion, Oleksandr Usyk. Fought beautifully, absolutely dominated Anthony Joshua. I had the fight 116-112 in favor of Usyk. Beautiful, beautiful fight for him. On the counterpunch with that straight left hand, Joshua was eating it. His power did carry up a little bit toward heavyweight. I don't know if he'll be able to knock out some of the bigger guys. Joshua does have a little bit of a suspect chin, as we have seen in fights with Klitschko and fights with Andy Ruiz. His chin is a little bit suspect, but either way, whether his punches were going to put Joshua down or not, he won that fight in a fashionable fashion, taking it to Joshua, really walking him down at points, staying in the kitchen and using his really a disadvantage in his height and his jabs, shorter arms, and he turned it into a superpower for him. He was landing all these short hooks. That straight left hand was going right down the middle and hitting the button every time. He really fought beautifully. You could tell he's under the same camp as Vasily Lomachenko. They fight pretty similar, just with less angles for Usyk being such a bigger guy. He doesn't have the same foot speed that Loma will have to create those angles, but he does fight with beautiful head movement and beautiful time counters. The geometry is still there, but just not as proficient with his feet. It's more with his head and his shoulders, swinging around the corner like that, but he's really great. I'm glad I finally got to see him fight. Great heavyweight champ. I hope he does go and try to go for undisputed against Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder. The winner of that fight should face Usyk for undisputed and create a heavyweight undisputed champion. That would be great for the industry. Number 2 and number 1 are very, 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 very the same as Ring TV. Naoya Inoue, and Canelo Alvarez. Both guys are incredibly great in their division, incredibly great, feared fighters as well. We're seeing Canelo fight in November against Caleb Plant for undisputed at 168. All these guys going for undisputed really makes me happy. It's good for the game. Naoya Inoue can do similar things if he goes and fights Casemiro or Donaire. Both fights that I think he should be able to win. Donaire will give him some trouble again, but I think he already has him figured out from their first fight. But we'll see how all those things go. Oops, I put Naoya. Let me fix that real quick. No disrespect to my boy Naoya Inoue. Seen him fight before. Really entertaining, really powerful. He just looks like an absolute beast in there. There's a reason why he's called the monster. The guy just hunts people down. Punches to the liver. His straight jab, his good head movement. He's a great fighter. We all know how good Canelo Alvarez is. He gets all the press and stuff. That's why I'm focusing mainly on Naoya Inoue. But incredibly, those two are my favorite fighters in the game right now. And then probably, Josh Taylor is great as well. Usyk has earned so much of my respect. So a lot of these guys are some of my favorite fighters. I love watching them all. But that's going to do it for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe. Comment your guys' pound for pound list. Who is number one for you guys? Leave a like if you guys would like to make a donation to the channel, so hit me on Cash App, and I'll see you guys next time.